Hey.
What?
Hey.
Hey.
I always feel like I'm the one saying, hi, welcome.
Yes, he does such a great job at it that we just let him do it.
Hey.
Yeah, it works well. Don't you think? It works well.
It works well.
Tell the man it works well.
I'm the hay baler person. Anyway, welcome to Sabbath before Christmas Sabbath. That's 1 week away.
1 week, yeah. But we have been ready for weeks now.
Weeks.
Yes.
Weeks. A lot of something.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. And those annoying relatives that come. I mean, and lovely Colby and Autumn, who we cherish dearly, are going to come see us. Is that right?
Yes, they are.
They were, at least, before they saw this video. Anyway, they're coming down the 20... When are they getting here?
The Thursday night before Christmas.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So Thursday. So the day before Christmas Eve. Ah, fun.
Yes, and you know what the awesome thing about Christmas here in Texas is this year, right here in Keene?
Guns.
No, it's supposed to be in the 70s or maybe even in the 80s.
Yes.
Isn't that awesome? Like a Christmas in the 80s. I want to have a Christmas Day picnic and go outside and eat yummy things outdoors at the park.
Yes, yes.
It'd be
Miranda told me
fun.
that today, I think. You told me that idea.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. Aspen, however. Aspen is going to be missing snow.
I'm not missing snow.
I don't know. I might like it.
You might like it. Snow, Christmas without snow.
Well, you know, if it's in the 40s or the 50s or something and you don't have snow, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're going to be in the 80s for Christmas, I'm not going to complain about no snow.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'll have to admit, any number of years in Lincoln, we had Christmas snow, and that's awesome. But you're living in the cold anyways, you might as well have snow for Christmas.
Yeah. It does remind me, I was reading today about, it depends on what you're used to. So somebody was like talking about the snow and the Christmas and the Hallmark movies and da-da-da. But they're from Australia. And they say, well, if you're from Australia, it's the exact opposite. Snow is not what you get at Christmas. Because there, you know, it's the other side of the world, it's a different hemisphere, so it's summer. So they're used to the warm and they're, no snow. And so they're like, it's just because that's the thing you've lived with and grown up with and on your movies and everything. But here, it's the exact opposite. So going there and having snow is really weird. And so I guess it just depends on what you're used to.
Yeah, I mean, if you're living in a cold area anyways, then snow for Christmas is nice.
Would be nice,
Yeah.
But speaking of different things about Christmas, let's go on to the last four. Well, I'll tell you, we'll start again. I do this every time. I start at the last four, and then I, at the last minute, say, oh, let's go ahead and start at the beginning. So here are the 12 Christmas fun facts, and we've already done 8, so we did 4 2 weeks ago, we did 4 more last week, and today we'd end off the 12 days, because on Christmas Sabbath, we're probably not going to do a full broadcast. We're just going to
keep it short.
Tuck in, say hi, hello everyone, and that kind of thing. So here we go. 12 fun facts about Christmas, things you may or may not know. 8 of them we've done, but in case you haven't seen those, it'll be new to you. If you have seen the other ones, bear with us. I got 4 new ones at the end. All right, here we go. Jingle Bells was the first Christmas song done in space. The crew of NASA's Gemini 6A space flight got into the Christmas spirit and made history when they played Jingle Bells on December 16, 1965, earning the Jolly Jingle the Guinness World Record for being the first song ever played in space. Speaking of that, Jingle Bells was the time Jingle Bells, also originally written as One Horse Open Sleigh, because it has our number 2 slot. In 1857, James Lord Pierpont, an organist at a Unitarian church in Savannah, Georgia, published the music and lyrics to a song he had written, The One Horse Open Sleigh. But it was originally a Thanksgiving song. So we know it now as Jingle Bells and One Horse Open Sleigh and Dashing Through the Snow and da-da-da. Where he got Dashing Through the Snow in Savannah, Georgia, I don't know. But it originally was written as a Thanksgiving song, not a Christmas song. As a matter of fact, he had written it years earlier in towns in New England, because there's two towns that argue which one is the birthplace of Jingle Bells, because he was at both around the same time. And so they're warring to this day over who's the original town of the song Jingle Bells. Things to war over. Things to get upset over.
Sure, sounds important to me.
Fun fact number 3. Do you hear what I hear? This was originally an anti-war song. It was written while America was on the brink of nuclear war at the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis. So if you're like me and you discuss these things with your college-age students who have no idea what you're talking about when you say the Cuban Missile Crisis, you can watch 13 Days or something, and it'll show you the whole history of the Cuban Missile Crisis back when J.F. Kennedy was president. But the song was written during all this. They thought really we were almost at nuclear war. We almost had World War III with Russia. And that was like in November, and these people wrote the song. It was written while, boy, did I make things hard to read. Noel and Gloria, talk about Christmas names, during October of 1962, and Shane, the female of the partners, was especially moved by the sight of mothers pushing baby carriages on the city street. And so it was an anti-war song more than it was a Christmas song. Fun fact 4, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. The wholesome humor of this seasonal favorite, in which a young boy spies his mother smooching his costumed father, was too much for the archdiocese, debasing the holiday. It was actually banned. The Archbishop in the Diocese of Boston banned the song I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, not allowing it to play, at least in his diocese in the Boston area. Singer Jimmy Boyd, who was a little boy, who had actually already been in some movies and TV, and he had a sit-down chat with the Archbishop and convinced him it maybe wasn't such a bad song after all, since seemingly the Archbishop took it to mean this married woman was kissing the real Santa Claus. They had to explain to him that no, it's actually the daddy dressed up as Santa Claus, and somehow that soothed his conscience and it was okay. How he didn't pick it up in the lyrics, I don't know. But as often happens, he probably just saw the picture and the title and thought, condemn this song, without actually listening to it. But once he was explained, no, that's the father, it's the daddy actually. Oh. At our house, it's different. It's I saw Daddy kissing Kitty while fighting Kitty off the tree.
Oh, Kitty doesn't climb the tree.
No, our kitty doesn't climb the
No.
tree. Some kitties think they have to destroy the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, but ours thinks it has to sleep under the Christmas tree more than anything. All right, fun fact number 5. According to a survey from Japan-based online retailer, and you can always trust Japan-based online retailers, they found 3/4 of Americans didn't like their holiday gifts. 3/4 of all gifts given will not be liked or appreciated.
That's awful. Now, I would certainly think kids would like more than 3/4 of their gifts.
You would think, trying to think back to, well, I was different. I mean, you could give me anything, and I was very guilt-ridden, so I didn't really enjoy Christmas that much. So anything I got, I was always very like, oh, thank you so much. I remember my uncle once wrapped up something in a different box. It was a box for a Christmas ornament. And I just, oh, this is great, And inside, I didn't care anything about it, And he was like, no, open the box. And then I forget what it was. It was something else, but bubble gum, I think. Ha ha ha. And so I was like, oh, I love this bubble gum. It was meant to be a joke, and they were all like, you're no fun. I'm sharing my Christmas pain with you. That was my...
Shall I share mine with
Show the
you?
appropriate response. There,
Oh,
there.
there, sweetie.
Have to
There,
show
there.
her how to do these. Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I feel better now.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, but 1/3 will choose to regift. 27% will donate that unwanted gift to charity. 14% will cut their loss and they'll sell it on eBay while the item still has value. Selling your own Christmas presents, that's horrible. You've never done that with anything I've given you, have you?
No.
Good. Because I just get on eBay and buy it back. World's tallest snow person, not snowman, snow person. See how woke and politically correct we are here at S.A.L.T. Because it wasn't a snowman. As you can see from the picture, it was a snow woman. So the Guinness World Record also records the world's tallest snow woman. Residents of Bethel, Maine, pitched in on the 122-foot, 1-inch tall creation, who measures just a few feet shorter than the Statue of Liberty. Also a woman. Girl power. Yay. That's pretty big. I have seen the Statue of Liberty. We all have. We just didn't see it up close. Aspen doesn't remember. Aspen doesn't remember yesterday, so you remember. It's a tall statue.
Yeah.
And this was just a couple of feet shorter than that.
Wow.
It's a lot of snow. Number 7, speaking of tall things, the tallest Christmas tree. Guinness World Record records Seattle-based Northgate Mall. Its 221-foot Douglas fir as the I'm citing a 1950 Life magazine article and the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index inflation calculator reported the tree cost $19,000 at the time, and that was $185,000 when adjusted for today's dollar. So $185,000 Christmas tree.
It's pretty insane.
Aspen has no comment. Aspen is sitting there silently contemplating this information.
I want lemon bars.
And the last one wants lemon bars. Okay. Fun fact number 8, tracking Santa. North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, which is in Colorado, I think.
Could be.
You used to live in Colorado.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a long time ago.
Well, started Santa Tracker in December 1955 by accident. NBC News reports that a local department store had a typo in their newspaper ad, misdirecting children to call NORAD instead. The organization has assigned one colonel to answer calls every Christmas since. So the basic story, this one department store put their number in for kids to call, and they had operators standing by to say, "Oh, Santa's over, Canada right now," and they missed one number, and just by chance, it happened to be an internal number to NORAD, the North American Defense, where they track missiles and such. And but instead of getting upset, the colonel and they took it on every year. They did a Santa tracker at NORAD so kids could call in. And now, if you haven't, they actually have gone, high tech. They did this a while back, but you can get online to the NORAD site and it'll show Santa tracking around the world. So if you haven't done that before, you should try that. Just get online and go Santa Tracker and it'll pop up in NORAD, and it's actually NORAD doing it, so it's really kind of cool. I was going to tell something else with that. Something else that happened by accident, but let's see, that was NORAD, and it's a good story too. Maybe
you'll remember it later.
Yeah, it was a good story.
At a later time that will fit perfectly.
Yes, because I think it was something I did by accident on Christmas. Anyway. All right, and here's our last 4 fun Christmas facts. When was the first Santa at the department store? The first time you would go, and did you ever do that? Did they ever take you to the mall to go see Santa and sit on his lap and tell him what you wanted for Christmas?
You would have thought so. I remember taking the kids. I must have.
I can't remember it either. And you think you must have, but
Yeah.
I don't actually remember doing it. And
Yeah.
I've never seen any pictures of me on Santa's lap. So I don't know that I ever did either.
It seems like I must have. But I do remember taking the kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you took. We didn't take Aspen.
Yeah, no one took me.
Didn't we? I took you once, Aspen. Yes.
Maybe we took her once.
We did once. We stood in line in Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
In Vegas, we did. Yeah, you were a baby.
Oh yeah, like I remember that.
You peed on Santa. Way to go.
Didn't either.
No, you did. But I was trying to get you to. Yeah. Anyway, the first department store to feature a visit with Santa was the J.W. Parkin store in Philadelphia in 1840. Department stores copied this event until 1890, when a store in Boston repeated it. Something about it, from 1840 to 1890. That's like 50 years. So there was only one department store in all of America for 50 years that had the Santa you went and sat on his lap and told you. 50 years. Seems like somebody would have caught on to that. Or maybe it was just bad enough and I did. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but in the end, I mean, it probably became more popular when people were able to get pictures
Yeah.
of their kids with Santa.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, you go, and it's nice. It's a nice
Yeah.
experience, but
Yeah, that's true. Until you got the... Yeah, that's true. Fun fact number 10. Have you ever eaten at Denny's?
yes.
Denny's, its thing used to be, it's always open. And you think, cool, a restaurant that's always open. However, one year that came to be a problem. The restaurant at Denny's, known for its always open motto, decided to give employees the day off in 1988. I actually remember this because they had a Denny's close to Southern. The only problem was 700 of the franchises, then 1,221 locations, had no locks on their doors because there was never any reason to. And the one in Chattanooga was that. They had no line. They did a big deal, but the newspaper did a story about it. So for the first time, Denny's was giving their employees Christmas Day off, and they couldn't lock the store up because there was no locks on the door because they were always... Don't you get it? Because you people. That was funny. It's true, but funny. But what you didn't get is that, and I think they did this in Chattanooga, but somebody went out and got them. No, somebody went out there. That's what it was. At some point, and most of them got them. But in Chattanooga, somebody went out and they took turns, watching the door at Denny's as a Christmas thing for Denny's employees. But yep. Have you ever had heartbreak on the holidays? It's very sad. And it happens all year round. However, it mostly happens just 2 weeks before Christmas. Data analyst, who apparently had so much time on his hands he didn't know what to do, David McCandless, analyzed more than 10,000 Facebook status updates. And he was able to determine that approximately 2 weeks before Christmas is the most likely time that a man or woman will dump their significant other if you're dating. And these are all mostly dating, it said in the article. That said, if you can make it until December 25, you're okay because it's the least likely day out of the year to be dumped. But 2 weeks before Christmas, if you're going to get dumped, that's the highest percentage of where people are mostly breaking up with other people.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's like, who has time to sit around and analyze all these Facebook updates? I'm just thinking who is this guy that did that? That's okay. Anyway, number 12. What is your favorite Christmas food?
Favorite Christmas food? Ice cream?
Ice cream.
Or just Christmas?
Okay.
Oh, Russian tea cookies.
Oh, Russian tea cookies.
Yes, Russian tea cookies.
Aspen, what's your favorite?
Sam's chicken.
Sam's chicken. When have we ever had Sam's chicken for Christmas?
Last year.
We did? Sam's chicken? That's right. We did make Sam's chicken from scratch.
Because...
And you should see... Miranda made cookies.
Yes, those are the few leftovers by now.
Yes.
Yes.
These are peanut butter balls, more peanut butter balls because we like them, and monster cookies that are oatmeal, M&M, and pretzel.
And white chocolate chips.
Oh, and white chocolate chips.
And regular chocolate chips.
They have a lot of stuff in them. Anyway, what are your traditional turkey and mashed potatoes and all that kind of stuff, right? But if you're in Japan, each year since the 1970s, millions of Japanese families have celebrated Christmas Day with a party barrel from Kentucky Fried Chicken. According to the BBC, a local to Japan KFC restaurant owner dreamed up the idea, and the company took it national in 1974. And I've heard of this before too, so like since 1974. The big Christmas meal in Japan is KFC.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. If you eat chicken, sounds like a great idea.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. Here, turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing, and no, let's just go to KFC, get a party barrel, and I guess they have mashed potatoes. But yeah.
Yeah, you could do the whole meal.
Do the whole meal there. So
Yeah.
anyway, there you go. 12 interesting things about Christmas you may or may not have known. All right, I'm done.
Alrighty, well, shall we just sign off? Consider.
Yeah.
What? I thought we were watching Aspen sing next.
Oh, so, yes, we have another interesting thing about, well, not so much here in Texas, because it is actually pretty cold today.
Yes, it is. And windy.
Yes, it was cold and windy, but no
Yes.
snow.
Well, it's funny because I let the cat out this morning and, it's cold out there because it was about 55 degrees and windy. And just after that, my sister texted me from Colorado and she says, it's 5 degrees out there. I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Did they have snow?
Yeah, I don't think they really got anywhere she was at. Yeah, not much.
Well, if wherever you're at has snow, then Aspen's video is for you, because Aspen's object lesson is going to talk about snow. What is it? How's it made? Where does it come from? What does it do? Are there any two that are really alike? Are they all different? And I think we called it Aspen's object lessons the Snowball Express.
Now is the time of year where we turn our thoughts from sun tanning, surfing, and beaches to snowman, sledding, and slopes. It's time to take a ride on the Snowball Express. When Christmas comes, for half the world anyways, snow. Depending on where you live, you might get a sprinkling of snow, a dusting of snow, or an all-out avalanche. And for those of you who don't get snow, you can make your own. All this snowing begs the question, what exactly is snow? Is it just frozen water? How is it made? And are there really no two snowflakes that are exactly alike? To answer these questions and more, let's hear some fun facts on the science of snow. Fun fact number 1. How is a snowflake made? This may come as a shock to you, but at the heart of every snowflake is dirt. Okay, not dirt, but the creation of every snowflake starts with a speck of dust or pollen. As a tiny speck of dust falls through the sky, it begins to pick up water vapor on its way down. And if it's cold enough, the water vapor will start to form tiny hexagons around the speck. Those tiny hexagons are called diamond dust. As it keeps falling, the chaos theory takes over. And then, based on 1,000 random different influences, an arm begins to grow here, a branch there, a spike here, until it falls to the ground, a fully formed snowflake. Fun fact number 2. Temperature equals the shape of the snowflake. Believe it or not, there are cold snowflakes and warm snowflakes. The way you can tell is by their shape. Snowflakes that are formed around 23 degrees Fahrenheit usually have long needle-like branches. But when it's colder, around 5 degrees Fahrenheit, they begin to look like flat plates. So with all these warm snowflakes and cold snowflakes and the temperature influencing, how many versions of snowflakes are there? Well, that takes us to fun fact number 3. So the idea of no two snowflakes being exactly alike probably started on January 15th, 1885 in Jericho.
And in the promised land, it's gonna be so grand. We'll have our fill from the grill as much as we can stand. It'll be so great, oh, we can hardly wait, 'cause we're going to the promised land.
No, not that Jericho. This happened in Jericho, Vermont. A man named Wilson Bentley sat on his front porch, patiently waiting for it to snow. When he finally saw the first snowflake, he caught it on a piece of black cloth, put it under a microscope that was connected to a camera. Holding his breath, he pushed the button, and click! We had our first picture of a snowflake. But he didn't stop there. He caught another snowflake and took a picture. Caught another snowflake and took a picture. Caught another snowflake and took a picture. And he kept doing this for 50 years. But in all those years and in all those pictures, he never saw two snowflakes that were exactly the same. However, in 1988, a researcher named Nancy Wright claimed that she found two snowflakes exactly alike. So while it's possible that two snowflakes' shapes could be the same, they still wouldn't be identical. Why? That takes us to fun fact number 4, where Star Trek warps its way into our video once again. So when I say deuterium, if you're a Trekkie, you probably know that that's part of the fuel for the warp drive. But in fact, deuterium really is a thing. As you know, water is H2O, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. But not all hydrogen atoms are the same. So most hydrogen atoms have 1 electron and 1 proton. But about 1 in every 3,000 have an electron, proton, and a neutron. That extra neutron makes it deuterium, which allows us to jump into hyperspace.
Star Wars is hyperspace. Star Trek is warp speed.
Which one did Darth Vader kill Captain Kirk? So the reason that no two snowflakes will be alike is because the deuterium atom will always be spread out randomly in every snowflake. Simply put, two snowflakes might look the same on the outside, but they will always be different on the inside. So when you hear, people are like snowflakes, no two are alike, it's actually true in more ways than one. First, the shape or personality of a snowflake is influenced by its path falling to the ground. And, just like the snowflake, our personalities are influenced by the experiences we have on our path through life. Second, the nature of snowflakes is influenced by the temperature that they're created in. Our natures are also influenced by the temperature of our hearts. Are we cold and closed, or are we warm and loving? And finally, just like snowflakes, people may look similar on the outside, but we're all unique and special on the inside.
No, I'm shushed.
I was trying to watch the video so I could make an analogy for what we're talking about tonight.
And
And
right
in
at
the
the
meantime,
moment.
right at that very moment, Brett starts to talk to Aspen. I'm
From
like,
across the room, I
Yeah.
was actually across the room, like, so why didn't you do that?
and it just happened to cancel out what I was trying to hear.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's fine. We
It's
still have an
fine.
analogy.
We still have the analogy.
Yes.
It's a good analogy, by the way.
So, Okay, so nobody knows yet. They don't know what we're talking about. But as a heads up, okay, so that deuterium thing is what gives warp speed.
Yeah, the possibility. Without deuterium, it's kind of like the fuel. The deuterium is the fuel in Star Trek for the warp drive.
And so we're talking about love today, like we do a lot of times. But what is it that allows us to live out the true love that God wants us to live out? And that is having a broken and contrite heart. Because a broken and contrite heart is empty of self, and it is finally ready to live out the love that God wants it to live. And so that's also like the snowflake falling. And as it falls, it takes a random type path in a way.
Yes, the chaos theory, the things that influence it. Yeah.
Right. And so as we don't really know how we're going to fall to the ground either, our path in life, and yet every moment offers us opportunities to live out the love that God created us to live, or to not. So.
And I like the analogy about falling through. Like, you don't know what your path is going to be. So many things influence the path of a snowflake and the shape of a snowflake, and it's just like, life itself. Also, the winds blow it this way, or no wind lets it drop down, and the cold temperatures do this and that, and it's all kind of in.
And we really have no control over that. And yet God does know the path that we need to take in order to become the people that He created us to be.
Right. And in the end, no matter what, they're all pretty beautiful because of the path and the influences and whatever, and it kind of same for us. No matter what, that's God's, all things work together. The path He's taken us on and all the influences, and it, helps form and shape us. We're beautiful.
Yes, love, true love is beautiful. Yes, absolutely.
So, anyway, that's a fun one. We have several Christmas ones, and we're going to try and make a couple. We have one on candy canes, one on baking. We're not going to redo the baking one.
But you know what? We forgot to show Aspen's new one this week.
Oh!
I know. Maybe we can do that next week.
Yes.
It's not Christmassy in particular, but Aspen did it for her school.
Yeah.
And it was a little video on beaver lodges.
Yes.
Which I found very interesting and fun to do.
It has a link to Christmas. There's a short clip from the Chronicles of Narnia and the beaver in that movie. So
that's true. Well, maybe we can show that one next week.
That's right, because it is connected to Christmas. It has the beavers in it from Narnia, but it's about beaver dams and lodges and stuff. But yes, we do have a new one. So if we don't get the others made, we'll show that one. That one's a good one.
It was fun for her and for us.
Yeah.
One of those times when parents got involved in their child's homework. A rare occasion in my life. For children, and
well, we always make her. We shoot it on Friday, and of every one of those videos. If you go to her channel and you watch her videos, almost every single one gets shot on Friday, and I'm up all night Friday night trying to edit it together.
Well,
and this one was going to be. We've got weeks.
We have good intentions, but for the last day of school. One of Aspen's teachers spent class time just asking get to know you type of questions. And one of them was, are you generally late or generally early? And Aspen said, well, as the Hadley family, we try to be early, but we are always fashionably late.
Yes.
And it is so very, very true.
We did the same thing, even though we had weeks of notice. We shot and edited the thing in one day because it was due the next day. I don't know why that happens with shooting Aspen's videos, but no more!
It'll happen again, I'm sure.
Probably. Christmas Eve. Oh, right.
Yes.
Anyway, on to today's topic, since we've taken up a lot of time.
Right, and I have named it, Remember the Scribes and the Pharisees. Sounds Christmassy, doesn't it?
That's right. Remember the Scribes and Pharisees. Very Christmassy.
Yes.
It could be a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
The scribes from the big town city have moved to the small town where the Pharisees have a struggling bakery. They're making sugar cookies. I don't know. Every Hallmark movie.
It's Miss Pharisee and Mr. Scribe.
Miss Pharisee and Mr. Scribe. There you go. That's a Christmas right there. Mr. Scribe and Miss Pharisee. I like it.
Yes.
I'll quit wasting time. Please continue.
Yes, okay, so as we all know, it's going to be Christmas in just 1 week. Next Sabbath will be Christmas. And, okay, so Christmas, a lot of people love Christmas, right? And it is a holiday to be loved because, like Thanksgiving, it is a holiday that we spend with our family, hopefully. And there's gifts, and there's good food to eat, and there's decorating and stuff like that. And yet, honestly, my favorite holiday is the 4th of July. I love the 4th for all of its simplicity because you still spend time with family if you live near each other or your friends, and you eat good food outside where it's warm, and you get to watch fireworks. And I love all of that stuff, and it doesn't come with some of the baggage that Christmas comes with. And so while I like the simplicity of Christmas, what Christmas was meant to be, it often gets weighed down with things that it shouldn't be.
Plus, 4th of July, you get to blow things up. Not so much on Christmas. Aspen has a...
Though some people may feel like they want to blow things up.
Blow things up. Yeah, you might have the desire to blow things up. However, it's not legal. Yes, Aspen.
So what's the difference between 4th of July and New Year's?
4th of July and New Year's.
Because both holidays, you eat good food and you watch fireworks. What's the difference?
You get to go to bed early on 4th of July.
But we don't.
Yeah, well.
So what's your point?
Yes. Thanks for your comment. Run the thing.
Right. So anyways, like, I said, Christmas can get bogged down with, which family are you going to see this year, or which family are you going to see this year? Or, the whole gift thing can get complicated because clearly, what do 2/3 of it gets?
2/3 gets re-gifted or sold or stuffed under the bed.
Yeah, that's awful. So this is where I would like to have Christmas with the simplicity of the 4th of July.
Me too. No presents anymore.
I don't mind.
I don't mind.
Well,
There's
let's do
2
it then.
out of 3. All right. Yay.
We're in. Oh, come on, Aspen.
Aspen's not
Oh.
happy.
She's not in.
She's not in.
Okay. Well, she's still a kid, so we can still get her gifts.
All right. We can get her something.
Yes.
Bubble gum or something.
I don't actually bubble gum.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you don't have any Christmas stories you want to share? Or shall we wait and do that next week?
Oh, do that. I mean, I do, but yeah, I was going to do it next week.
Next week, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little story to imagine. Let's imagine Jesus showing up at your house on whenever it is you're going to be opening gifts, whether it's Christmas Eve or Christmas morning.
Wow. What do
And
you do? What do we...
usually-
Before us, I mean, before you met me, what did y'all do?
Christmas Eve.
You did Christmas Eve?
Yeah, well, it was Christmas Eve at the in-laws, and then at home, it was us for the kids.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, so the kids had 2. It's nice for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Good for them. I didn't have to. My day, we had 1, and we liked it that way.
Mine was much more simple. We generally didn't have gifts, and so therefore.
That makes it very simple.
Okay, so let's say Jesus arrives at your front door just as though you're about ready to open gifts, and you're glad to see him, right? Because everybody should be glad to see Jesus, and it is Christmas, and but it feels a bit awkward because you didn't get him a gift because you didn't know he was coming, but he assures you, it doesn't matter, don't worry about it. He just wants to spend time with you, and so you do feel bad that you haven't got a gift for him there, but then you remember all the various charities that you've given to over the holiday season, for the poor families whose kids won't likely get anything without your, monetary gift and stuff, so you feel better. And of course, with Jesus sitting right there, your conscience is bothering you just a little. I mean, in reality, we all like to think we'd love to see Jesus, but if he was actually sitting right there, isn't there something that would probably start bothering your conscience? Because you're in the actual presence and perfection of Jesus. And so you get to thinking about it, you think, well, you know what? I think my good list is probably longer than the naughty list, so I'm good, right? Besides that, you can think of quite a few people who are a lot worse than you are. So it's all okay, and you give a little sigh of relief. But then you can feel Jesus looking at you, and you can hear his silent voice running through your head as a thought that says, remember the scribes and the Pharisees. Oh, you kind of wonder what that means, but before you can think about it too much, now your sister's 3-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, are fighting who gets the pink one. And you thought, this was supposed to be simple. Pink for the girl, blue for the boy. But it's not that simple, because they both want the pink one. And so, anyways, Christmas is never as simple as it should be. I wish it was.
Oh, you're like, I do remember one Christmas, and I don't think they're watching. I think they're still in Disney right now in Florida, but...
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Craig and I went to my dad's house, Dad and Kathy's house, for one Christmas, and I'm thinking. I mean, we did it several times, and most of the time it was fine. It was fun and everything. But there was this one Christmas, and I'm just thinking, I don't know that we weren't. It was a spur of the moment, or it was last minute, but anyway, we ended up both being there. And Michael and Matthew, my half brothers. So Dad and Kathy had Michael and Matthew. Probably, I don't know, they're a lot younger than us. Mm-hmm. So Craig and I were already out of college and adult by the time Michael and Matthew were, and they were still young having Christmas.
Right. I mean, they're younger or the same age as Randy, Ryan, and Colby.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's tons of presents for them, and my dad did that for us too. When we were kids, there's tons of presents for everybody. So he was doing it for Michael and Matthew. So it was fine. It just, for some reason, it got to be really funny to me and Craig that we were sitting there and every present, was for Michael and Matthew, and I don't know why we started not just laughing and just kind of like, well, this is odd. And it was just like one of the things you don't think, it's like, because we were like, it's okay, no, you don't have to give us any, because there was no presents for us. And it was like, you say, no, that's fine. And after about 40 minutes of this, you start to think, it just starts to feel weird, and so we started getting very like, oh my gosh, what could it be? And they would open up and like, we get all pretend excited, because they were young enough. I guess they didn't catch on, but it did get just funny, I guess, awkward funny after 40 minutes of just watching all these presents being opened by these two boys, And there was, I don't remember what toy it was, but it was something, they argued over, halfway through opening the gifts, and Craig and I were like, geez, there's like 10 more gifts for each of you, move on. And because they were young. I don't know. It was just, what you just said reminded me of that. And I don't know why I told that story.
Yeah, and...
No knock or anything to Dad, Kathy, or Michael, or Matthew. It was just an interesting Christmas experience at one time. And it was fun to see, though. I will tell you that. It was fun to see my dad doing for them what he had done for us. It was... I did have that thought that I do remember this as a child, this being, Christmas, the big tree and the... well, I say big tree, and nothing intended, Kathy, but our trees were bigger when we were at the lake, and we had these giant sequoias, and I liked our trees as a kid.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Kathy, you have a great tree. It's just smaller.
And she has great ornaments as well.
She does have great ornaments.
She collects nice ornaments.
Yeah, she really does. And she has a collection of, it's a whole Christmas village that you can buy, the different buildings and everything. And anyway, so one Christmas story. I'll have more next week.
Yeah. So anyways, Jesus isn't interested in those physical gifts like that. But the one simple thing that Jesus wants is, and we're going to find that in Psalm 51, 16, and 17, for you do not delight in sacrifice, or I would bring it. You take no pleasure in burnt offerings. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. And then along with that goes Proverbs 15, verse 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is detestable to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. When I read that, I read a Bible verse like that, I like to read the Hebrew words and their definitions of that. So I found it interesting that that word detestable had a couple of different definitions. It would be something disgusting and abhorrence, idolatry, and an idol. And so that word there translated detestable can have a double meaning. So think of the sacrifice as an idol, something we do to make ourselves look good, much like the scribes and Pharisees who did good things to look good, but not because they loved God. So basically we can do things for God, at least it looks like we're doing them for God, but in reality we're doing them to bring glory to ourselves. And that is the detestable, like we are bowing down to that idol and yet pretending as if we are doing it for God because we love Him. And so it's something that we do it to make ourselves look good, much like the scribes and Pharisees. Anyways, that is what is detestable to God, our serving idols rather than Him, even something that would look good, as if we loved Him, when in reality we're just serving ourselves. So, anyways, it is detestable to God when we say we are serving Him, but in reality the offering we are appearing to give Him is given by us to glorify ourselves. And it is a lot of work to keep up appearances. And it seems like Christmas is that way in a way sometimes.
It's like the Pharisee and the widow and the 2 mites.
Right, yes, absolutely. You had the one who just gave the 2 mites, but she gave that from the brokenness of her heart because she wanted to do something and that's what she had to give. Whereas the Pharisee who came in with his loads and loads of money so that other people could see him give it, he had plenty of money left at home. It didn't touch his pocketbook in the least, even though he gave a lot more than she did. She gave everything that she had, and that's what happens when we have that broken and contrite spirit. We are entirely done with self, and we are now ready to give everything to God and let Him use our lives instead of to bring glory to Him rather than us using our lives to bring glory to ourselves. So all God wants is a simplicity of a broken and contrite heart. Serving God should not be a burden, causing us anxiety. And when we serve someone because we love them, it is not work, it is joy. So, just a little story as an analogy. Jesus laid down His life for us in the valley of Golgotha, which was just outside the gates of His city, Jerusalem, which He had prepared for His people to share His love. It was to be a place where His people shared His love with each other and to be an example of a living, loving relationship with God to the heathen nations around them. And by the time He arrived on earth, His love was no longer living, but an idol used to build up their pride as the chosen people of God.
Because the temple was there in Jerusalem as well.
Yes. And the same thing happens today. Some people who say they love Him take His love and turn it into an idol, and it becomes a basis of their pride. But such love is hard and mechanical and blows a lot of hot air. It's like a toy wooden soldier army marching to the cadence of love, love, left, right, love. No battles are ever won for love because they never leave the parade ground to fight any real battles of love. Jesus won the war for love when He shed His blood and suffered and died on Calvary's mountaintop. We are to follow His example. God didn't create us to stay on the parade ground, a toy wooden soldier marching in fancy formations to the cadence of love, love, left, right, love. Jesus knocks at our heart's door and invites us to leave the city that bows to love as an idol and take up our cross and to follow Him. Follow Him. He is our loving shepherd who died to serve you. He is a humble God. He died to serve you so that you can choose to give Him your broken and contrite heart and your heart that is truly sorry for sin and entirely empty of self and ready to do whatever it is that He has for you to do. So Brett and I both read a news story this morning.
Yeah, although I'm thinking this is the best place to end.
Okay.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
we could
that-
use this next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a teaser. It's a good story. It relates to me a lot like a teacher because it like involves a teacher and stuff. And we just happened to both read the same story this morning, and it was just kind of that's cool. But although I think it might be better for next
Sure,
week. Yeah.
that's fine.
So there's a story, and you should tune in next week because it's a good story and it has a good point. But I think it's good to save it for next week because that's a great place to end. I told Miranda I liked the analogy of, the idea of Christians who, are on the parade grounds and love marching in the parade, but, are kind of MIA when it comes to actually fighting the, real battles of, love and getting out there in the trenches and stuff. And
Yeah, it's like the Good Samaritan. I mean, for the Pharisees or the Levite to have stopped and helped that man would have been a battle fought for love. They would have left the parade grounds and fought the battle of love by helping that man, and yet they didn't. They stayed on the parade ground, they looked good, they kept their robes clean, and they had pride in who they were, and yet no battles for love were ever fought.
And I've had, I've known people, and because we used to pastor churches, and I've had people in my churches as a pastor who would come to church all the time. We're very faithful church, but wouldn't volunteer to do anything. And it's like, we'll come and we'll be here and we'll, sit in the congregation, but we're not going to really do anything. And it's kind of the same thing, You're great to be on the, parade ground and looking and, doing the fun stuff, but actually, getting out there and doing the things that God, infuses us with love for.
And it is getting in the trenches.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy, and it can be dangerous. It is dangerous to our pride.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous to our pride. We'll have to part ways with pride.
So anyway, we will pick up next Sabbath. It won't be a long one. We'll maybe do, if we get a chance to remake one of Aspen's videos, we will. And if not, we'll show the beaver one.
Yeah, I'll show the beaver one. We'll make it work with our
Yes,
story.
the story, and then we'll have a story, and it'll be
Yes.
fun. So it'll be short, but yeah. So if you can, join us next Sabbath for a quick one, and it'll be a good time, and we'll even show you pictures of our, because I know we have once before, but we'll show you pictures of our tree and our window. Colby and Autumn will be here. We may sneak attack Colby and put him on camera because he loves it so much. He doesn't. And anyway, so we'll do that next week.
Yes. And Merry Christmas next week.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and